Chapter 64 to 68, Book 10, Volume 2 of Le Morte d'Arthur. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Lars Rolander. Le Morte d'Arthur, Volume 2, by Sir Thomas Malory. Chapter 64. Then they departed, and the two brethren came against Sir Palomides, and he against them, as fast as their horses might run. And by fortune Sir Palomides smote Helake through his shield, and through the breast more than a fathom. All this while Sir Helius held up his spear, and for pride and orgulity he would not smite Sir Palomides with his spear. But when he saw his brother lie on the earth, and saw he might not help himself, then he said unto Sir Palomides, Help thyself. And therewith he came hurtling unto Sir Palomides with his spear, and smote him quite from his saddle. Then Sir Helius rode over Sir Palomides twice or thrice. And therewith Sir Palomides was ashamed, and gat the horse of Sir Helius by the bridle, and therewithal the horse areared, and Sir Palomides halp after, and so they fell both to the earth. But anon Sir Helius stirred up lightly, and there he smote Sir Palomides a great stroke upon the helm, that he kneeled upon his own knee. Then they lashed together many sad strokes, and traced and traversed, now backward, now sidling, hurtling together like two boars, and that same time they fell both grovelling to the earth. Thus they fought still without any reposing 2 hours, and never breathed. And then Sir Palomides waxed faint and weary, and Sir Helius waxed passing strong, and doubled his strokes, and drove Sir Palomides over thwart and endlong all the field. That they of the city, when they saw Sir Palomides in this case, they wept and cried, and made great dole, and the other party made as great joy. Alas, said the men of the city, that this noble knight should thus be slain for our king's sake. And as they were thus weeping and crying, Sir Palomides, that had suffered 100 strokes, that it was wonder that he stood on his feet. At the last Sir Palomides beheld as he might the common people, how they wept for him, and then he said to himself, Ah, fie for shame, Sir Palomides, why hangest thou thy head so low? And therewith he bare up his shield, and looked Sir Helius in the visage, and he smote him a great stroke upon the helm, and after that another and another. And then he smote Sir Helius with such a might that he fell to the earth grovelling, and then he raised off his helm from his head, and there he smote him such a buffet that he departed his head from the body. And then were the people of the city the joyfullest people that might be. So they brought him to his lodging with great solemnity, and there all the people became his men. And then Sir Palomides prayed them all to take keep unto all the lordship of King Hermance. For fair sirs, wit ye well I may not as at this time abide with you, for I must in all haste be with my lord King Arthur at the castle of Lonazep, the which I have promised. Then was the people full heavy at his departing, for all that city proffered Sir Palomides the 3rd part of their goods, so that he would abide with them, but in no wise as at that time he would not abide. And so Sir Palomides departed, and so he came unto the castle thereas Sir Ebel was lieutenant. And when they in the castle wist how Sir Palomides had sped, there was a joyful meny. And so Sir Palomides departed, and came to the castle of Lonazep. And when he wist that Sir Tristram was not there, he took his way over Humber, and came unto Joyous Gard, whereas Sir Tristram was, and La Beale Isoud. Sir Tristram had commanded that what knight errant came within the Joyous Gard, as in the town, that they should warn Sir Tristram. So there came a man of the town, and told Sir Tristram how there was a knight in the town, a passing goodly man. What manner of man is he? said Sir Tristram, and what sign beareth he? So the man told Sir Tristram all the tokens of him. That is Palomides, said Dinadan. It may well be, said Sir Tristram. Go ye to him, said Sir Tristram unto Dinadan. So Dinadan went unto Sir Palomides, and there either made other great joy, and so they lay together that night. And on the morn early came Sir Tristram and Sir Gareth, and took them in their beds, and so they arose and brake their fast. CHAPTER 65. And then Sir Tristram desired Sir Palomides to ride into the fields and woods. So they were accorded to repose them in the forest. And when they had played them a great while they rode unto a fair well, and anon they were ware of an armed knight that came riding against them, and there either saluted other. Then this armed knight spake to Sir Tristram, and asked what were these knights that were lodged in Joyous Gard. I wot not what they are, said Sir Tristram. What knights be ye? said that knight. For me seemeth ye be no knights errant, because ye ride unarmed. Whether we be knights or not we list not to tell thee our name. Wilt thou not tell me thy name? said the knight. Then keep thee, for thou shalt die of my hands. And therewith he got his spear in his hands, and would have run Sir Tristram through. That saw Sir Palomides, and smote his horse traverse in midst of the side, that man and horse fell to the earth. And therewith Sir Palomides alighted, and pulled out his sword to have slain him. Let be, said Sir Tristram, slay him not. The knight is but a fool. It were shame to slay him. But take away his spear, said Sir Tristram, and let him take his horse and go where that he will. So when this knight arose he groaned sore of the fall, and so he took his horse, and when he was up he turned then his horse, and required Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides to tell him what knights they were. Now wit ye well, said Sir Tristram, that my name is Sir Tristram de Liones, and this knight's name is Sir Palomides. When he wist what they were he took his horse with the spurs, because they should not ask him his name, and so rode fast away through thick and thin. Then came there by them a knight with a bended shield of azure, whose name was Epinogris, and he came toward them a great wallop. Whither are ye riding? said Sir Tristram. My fair lord, said Epinogris, I follow the falsest knight that beareth the life. Wherefore I require you to tell me whether ye saw him, for he beareth a shield with a case of red over it. So God me help, said Tristram, such a knight departed from us not a quarter of an hour agone. We pray you tell us his name. Alas, said Epinogris, why let ye him escape from you? And he is so great a foe unto all errant knights. His name is Breuse Sans Pité. And fie for shame, said Sir Palomides, alas that ever he escaped mine hands, for he is the man in the world that I hate most. Then every knight made great sorrow to other, and so Epinogris departed and followed the chase after him. Then Sir Tristram and his three fellows rode unto Joyous Gard, and there Sir Tristram talked unto Sir Palomides of his battle, how he sped at the Red City. And as ye have heard afore, so was it ended. Truly, said Sir Tristram, I am glad ye have well sped, for ye have done worshipfully. Well, said Sir Tristram, we must forward to morn. And then he devised how it should be. And Sir Tristram devised to send his two pavilions to set them fast by the well of Lonazep, and therein shall be the Queen La Beale Isoud. It is well said, said Sir Dinadan, but when Sir Palomides heard of that his heart was ravished out of measure, notwithstanding he said but little. So when they came to Joyous Gard Sir Palomides would not have gone into the castle, but as Sir Tristram took him by the finger and led him into the castle. And when Sir Palomides saw La Beale Isoud he was ravished so that he might unnethe speak. So they went unto meat, but Palomides might not eat, and there was all the cheer that might be had. And on the morn they were apparelled to ride toward Lonazep. So Sir Tristram had three squires, and La Beale Isoud had three gentlewomen, and both the queen and they were richly apparelled. And other people had they none with them, but varlets to bear their shields and their spears. And thus they rode forth. So as they rode they saw afore them a rout of knights. It was the knight Galihodin with 20 knights with him. Fair fellow, said Galihodin, yonder come 4 knights, and a rich and a well fair lady. I am in will to take that lady from them. That is not of the best counsel, said one of Galihodin's men, but send ye to them and wit what they will say. And so it was done. There came a squire unto Sir Tristram, and asked them whether they would joust, or else to lose their lady. Not so, said Sir Tristram. Tell your lord I bid him come as many as we be, and win her and take her. Sir, said Palomides, an it please you let me have this deed, and I shall undertake them all 4. I will that ye have it, said Sir Tristram, at your pleasure. Now go and tell your lord Galihodin that this same night will encounter with him and his fellows. Chapter 66. Then this squire departed and told Galihodin, and then he dressed his shield, and put forth a spear, and Sir Palomides another, and there Sir Palomides smote Galihodin so hard that he smote both horse and man to the earth, and there he had an horrible fall. And then came there another knight, and in the same wise he served him, and so he served the third and the fourth, that he smote them over their horses' croups, and always Sir Palomides' spear was whole. Then came 6 knights more of Galihodin's men, and would have been avenged upon Sir Palomides. Let be, said Sir Galihodin, not so hardy, none of you all meddle with this knight, for he is a man of great bounty and honour, and if he would ye were not able to meddle with him. And right so they held them still. And ever Sir Palomides was ready to joust, and when he saw they would no more he rode unto Sir Tristram. Right well have ye done, said Sir Tristram, and worshipfully have you done as a good knight should. This Galihodin was nigh cousin unto Galahalt, the haut prince, and this Galihodin was a king within the country of Surluse. So as Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, and La Beale Isoud rode together, they saw afore them 4 knights, and every man had his spear in his hand. The first was Sir Gawaine, the second Sir Uwaine, the third Sir Sagramore le Desirous, and the fourth was Dodinas le Savage. When Sir Palomides beheld them, that the 4 knights were ready to joust, he prayed Sir Tristram to give him leave to have ado with them all, so long as he might hold him on horseback. And if that I be smitten down, I pray you revenge me. Well, said Sir Tristram, I will as ye will, and ye are not so fain to have worship, but I would as fain increase your worship. And therewithal Sir Gawaine put forth his spear, and Sir Palomides another. And so they came so eagerly together that Sir Palomides smote Sir Gawaine to the earth, horse and all. And in the same wise he served Uwaine, Sir Dodinas, and Sagramore. All these 4 knights Sir Palomides smote down with divers spears, and then Sir Tristram departed toward Lonazep. And when they were departed, then came thither Galihodin with his 10 knights unto Sir Gawaine, and there he told him all how he had sped. I marvel, said Sir Gawaine, what knights they be that are so arrayed in green. And that knight upon the white horse smote me down, said Galihodin, and my 3 fellows. And so he did to me, said Gawaine. And well I wot, said Sir Gawaine, that either he upon the white horse is Sir Tristram, or else Sir Palomides, and that gay beseen lady is Queen Isoud. Thus they talked of one thing and of other. And in the meanwhile Sir Tristram passed on till that he came to the well, where his two pavilions were set, and there they alighted, and there they saw many pavilions and great array. Then Sir Tristram left there Sir Palomides and Sir Gareth with La Beale Isoud, and Sir Tristram and Sir Dinadan rode to Lonazep to hearken tidings, and Sir Tristram rode upon Sir Palomides' white horse. And when he came into the castle Sir Dinadan heard a great horn blow, and to the horn drew many knights. Then Sir Tristram asked a knight, What meaneth the blast of that horn? Sir, said that knight, it is all those that shall hold against King Arthur at this tournament. The first is the King of Ireland, and the King of Surluse, the King of Listinoise, the King of Northumberland, and the King of the best part of Wales, with many other countries. And these drew them to a council to understand what governance they shall be of. But the King of Ireland, whose name is Marhault, and father to the good knight Sir Marhaus that Sir Tristram slew, had all the speech that Sir Tristram might hear it. He said, Lords and fellows, let us look to ourself, for wit ye well, King Arthur is sure of many good knights, or else he would not with so few knights have ado with us. Therefore, by my counsel, let every king have a standard and a cognizance by himself, that every knight draw to their natural lord, and then may every king and captain help his knights if they have need. When Sir Tristram had heard all their counsel, he rode unto King Arthur for to hear his counsel. CHAPTER 67. But Sir Tristram was not so soon come into the place, but Sir Gawaine and Sir Galihodin went to King Arthur and told him, That same green knight in the green harness with the white horse smote us two down, and 6 of our fellows this same day. Well, said Arthur, and then he called Sir Tristram and asked him what was his name. Sir, said Sir Tristram, ye shall hold me excused as at this time, for ye shall not wit my name. And there Sir Tristram returned and rode his way. I have marvel, said Arthur, that yonder knight will not tell me his name. But go thou, Griflet la Fise de Dieu, and pray him to speak with me betwixt us. Then Sir Griflet rode after him and overtook him, and said him that King Arthur prayed him for to speak with him secretly apart. Upon this covenant, said Sir Tristram, I will speak with him, that I will turn against so that ye will ensure me not to desire to hear my name. I shall undertake, said Sir Griflet, that he will not greatly desire it of you. So they rode together until they came to King Arthur. Fair sir, said King Arthur, what is the cause ye will not tell me your name? Sir, said Sir Tristram, without a cause I will not hide my name. Upon what party will ye hold? said King Arthur. My lord, said Sir Tristram, I wot not yet on what party I will be on until I come to the field, and there as my heart giveth me, there will I hold. But to morrow ye shall see and prove on what party I shall come. And therewithal he returned and went to his pavilions. And upon the morn they armed them all in green, and came into the field. And there young knights began to joust, and did many worshipful deeds. Then spake Gareth unto Sir Tristram, and prayed him to give him leave to break his spear, for him thought shame to bear his spear whole again. When Sir Tristram heard him say so, he laughed and said, I pray you do your best. Then Sir Gareth gat a spear and proffered to joust. That saw a knight that was nephew unto the King of the 100 Knights. His name was Selies, and a good man of arms. So this knight Selies then dressed him unto Sir Gareth, and they two met together so hard that either smote other down, his horse and all, to the earth. So they were both bruised and hurt, and there they lay till the King with the 100 knights halp Selises up, and Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides halp up Gareth again. And so they rode with Sir Gareth unto their pavilions, and then they pulled off his helm. And when La Beale Isoud saw Sir Gareth bruised in the face, she asked him what ailed him. Madam, said Sir Gareth, I had a great buffet, and as I suppose I gave another. But none of my fellows, God thank them, would not rescue me. Forsooth, said Palomides, it longed not to none of us as this day to joust, for there have not this day jousted no proved knights, and needly ye would joust. And when the other party saw ye proffered yourself to joust, they sent one to you, a passing good knight of his age, for I know him well. His name is Selise, and worshipfully ye met with him, and neither of you are dishonoured, and therefore refresh yourself, that ye may be ready and whole to joust to morrow. As for that, said Gareth, I shall not fail you, and I may bestride mine horse. Chapter 68. Now upon what party, said Tristram, is it best we be withal as to morn? Sir, said Palomides, ye shall have mine advice to be against King Arthur as to morn, for on his party will be Sir Launcelot and many good knights of his blood with him, and the more men of worship that they be, the more worship we shall win. That is full knightly spoken, said Sir Tristram, and right so as ye counsel me, so will we do. In the name of God, said they all. So that night they were lodged with the best. And on the morn when it was day, they were arrayed all in green trappings, shields and spears, and La Beale Isoud in the same colour, and her 3 damosels. And right so these 4 knights came into the field endlong and through. And so they led La Beale Isoud thither as she should stand and behold all the joust in a bay window, but always she was wimpled that no man might see her visage. And then these 3 knights rode straight unto the party of the King of Scots. When King Arthur had seen them do all this, he asked Sir Launcelot what were these knights and the queen. Sir, said Launcelot, I cannot say you in certain, but if Sir Tristram be in this country, or Sir Palomides, wit ye well it be they I am certain, and La Beale Isoud. Then Arthur called to him Sir Kay, and said, Go lightly, and wit how many knights there be here lacking of the Table Round, for by the sieges thou mayst know. So went Sir Kay and saw by the writings in the sieges that there lacked 10 knights, and these be their names that be not here: Sir Tristram, Sir Palomides, Sir Percivale, Sir Gaheris, Sir Epinogris, Sir Mordred, Sir Dinadan, Sir La Cote Male Taile, and Sir Pelleas, the noble knight. Well, said Arthur, some of these I dare undertake are here this day against us. Then came therein 2 brethren, cousins unto Sir Gawaine. The one hight Sir Edward, the other hight Sir Sadok, the which were 2 good knights, and they asked of King Arthur that they might have the first jousts, for they were of Orkney. I am pleased, said King Arthur. Then Sir Edward encountered with the King of Scots, in whose party was Sir Tristram and Sir Palomides, and Sir Edward smote the King of Scots quite from his horse, and Sir Sadok smote down the King of North Wales, and gave him a wonder great fall, that there was a great cry on King Arthur's party, and that made Sir Palomides passing wroth. And so Sir Palomides dressed his shield and his spear, and with all his might he met with Sir Edward of Orkney, that he smote him so hard that his horse might not stand on his feet, and so they hurtled to the earth. And then with the same spear Sir Palomides smote down Sir Sadok over his horse's croup. O Jesus, said Arthur, what knight is that arrayed in all green? He jousteth mightily. Wit you well, said Sir Gawaine, he is a good knight, and yet shall ye see him joust better or he depart. And yet shall ye see, said Sir Gawaine, another bigger knight in the same colour than he is; for that same knight, said Sir Gawaine, that smote down right now my four cousins, he smote me down within these 2 days, and 7 fellows more. This meanwhile, as they stood thus talking, there came into the place Sir Tristram upon a black horse, and or ever he stint he smote down with one spear 4 good knights of Orkney, that were of the kin of Sir Gawaine. And Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan everych of them smote down a good knight. Jesu, said Arthur, yonder knight upon the black horse doth mightily and marvellously well. Abide you, said Sir Gawaine, that knight with the black horse began not yet. Then Sir Tristram made to horse again the 2 kings that Edward and Sadok had unhorsed at the beginning. And then Sir Tristram drew his sword and rode into the thickest of the press against them of Orkney. And there he smote down knights, and rashed off helms, and pulled away their shields, and hurtled down many knights. He fared so that Sir Arthur and all knights had great marvel when they saw one knight do so great deeds of arms. And Sir Palomides failed not upon the other side, but did so marvellously well that all men had wonder. For there King Arthur likened Sir Tristram that was on the black horse like to a wood lion, and likened Sir Palomides upon the white horse unto a wood leopard, and Sir Gareth and Sir Dinadan unto eager wolves. But the custom was such among them that none of the kings would help other, but all the fellowship of every standard to help other as they might. But ever Sir Tristram did so much deeds of arms that they of Orkney waxed weary of him, and so withdrew them unto Lonazep. End of Book 10, chapters 64 to 68. Read by Lars Rolander.